jam track. I just put the link there. We're going to make a change in this here in a second. I'm just fishing right now. I'm on a fishing expedition. All right, I'm going to stop this nonsense. I'm going to let you know, Bruce isn't going to be here. He may make it, but he texted me to let me know that he has a eye doctor appointment, so he's going to be late. He didn't want anybody to worry, and I told him it's kind of sweet that every one of you would be like, "Where's Bruce?" I shouldn't have said anything, and then that way he could go back and read all the concern for Bruce. I should have kept my mouth shut. But anyway, yeah, Bruce is getting his eyes examined. I need to get my eye. I need to. I'm supposed to get it done every 6 months because I'm blind in one eye, so we got to keep good tabs on my good eye. But I don't know if any of you remember which eye. Hey, Hook is here. Ed, good to see you. Dennis, thank you for being the sole administrator today. Don't worry, you don't have to up your duties or anything like that. Still keep your guitar in your hand and keep working. Hey, Roger, good to see you. I think Jack's enjoying working at Northrop. He still's only been there like maybe twice. He's working from home like everybody, which is what he's working on right now. He can do, but he knows that there's other stuff that's coming. So he's not fretting or anything like that. But it's like, boy, it would be fun to start to meet some people over there. But he says they're doing Zoom calls and things like that. Morning, Bob and Holly. Good to see you. Yeah, and keep an extra sharp eye. Thanks, Dennis. Pepper, hello. Enjoying your time off? You got another couple weeks left, I think. Yeah, he's got a good job. Yeah, that's true. It's a very good job. Let's see what else is going on. I've been busy. Did a lot of music this last week. And I got to do some stuff today and tomorrow. Kelly Jekyll's coming over and we're going to do some, Kelly and I have written a few songs together. A couple movie placements, maybe one movie placement. This text up here is a little on the big side, and I'm going to be changing this text in a little bit. We're going to get rid of something, and you might be able to figure out what it is, but we're going to fix this screen in a second. But for the sake of academia, I figure it'd be good to have all of these here, all of these pentatonics here, because hey, happy 2021 yourself, Happy New Year, Euro. but we're going to get rid of one of those scales because we did it before when we did the blues, and it was like the minor pentatonic based on the 4 chord sounded not good. So so I'm going to get rid of. We're gonna do what we did before, which is we're going to do Holly's favorite scale, the meth. We're going to do G meth. So, oh, you are still work. I go back to school on the 13th. Okay, but your university's still online. Oh, we're learning. Yes, so you're still online. Yeah, yeah. I figured that. Beth is teaching in class at a public school, but it's the kids that are being left behind by the whole Zoom thing. So she has up to 12 kids. I think she has 10 kids. Hey, John, thank you so much for the coffee. You weren't here. I was saying, like, for a whole week I was saying, and today's Starbucks was brought to you by John Y. So thank you for that. That was an appreciated gift. It means a lot. So these minor pentatonics are a little odd, but again, what it is just another tool. Somebody asked me, dang it, who was it? It was last lesson, I think. It wasn't anybody that's here right now, I don't think. But somebody asked me, it's a regular, but he asked me, do I think about scales or do I think about notes? And the truth is, I don't think when I'm soloing in general, I'm not too aware of scales. I mean, I'm aware of the key I'm in, but I'm also aware of the notes that are outside the key that'll sound cool at that moment, even though I may not necessarily think of what note it is. And if we go back 2 weeks, you can see that in the C major blues, we had that E flat, and it was fine because it was kind of a passing tone to the E. Right? We did that. In fact, we did, right? Something like that. You know, that E flat to E sounded kind of cool. And so that flat 3 to the 3rd over the C seemed to work pretty good. But just having the flat 3, and I'm just talking about the crazy thing, it's just the 4 chord where it's just, because the flat 3 on the 1 chord, the G, and here's another thing, if I isolated the 1 chord, so if I just went to my Logic session and just had it vamp the C chord, then C blues sounds fine, okay? Or C minor pentatonic sounds, you know, it sounds okay. Oh wait, that's 2 bars. Like, wait. So that's just the C chord there. Sounds cool, you know? But that's isolated. That's with the C chord by itself. So it works. But in the context of when the C chord is the 4 chord in the progression, and you're just there for like 1 bar, I think maybe if it was like G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and if it was like twice as long or 4 times as long, if you're sitting on the C chord for a long time, I think you could probably allude to that C minor pentatonic. So we're gonna learn all 3 of these, and then I'm gonna delete that middle scale. I'm gonna correct the text up here. Dang it, up here. I can't do this. It's like I'm having a stroke. I know that's not a nice thing to say, but again, you know, isolated, the C minor pen works great over the C, but in the context of the G to C to G to D, I just don't like it. I don't, and I don't like it probably because it's not something I've heard enough that people use because nobody likes it. Does that make sense? So let me jam a little bit on this. I'll pull up the jam track here, this one. All right, so this is what I'm going to play along with just for a minute. And feel free to bookmark that and use that. Hey, Margaret, good to see you. Who else is on? Yeah, John, it definitely satisfied a lot of drinkable offenses. Right, Gary? What did we make a sippable offense? Oh, the weatherman sip. Oh, no. No, you can't. If you do that, you guys are going to be out of fluids by the end of the first half hour. You won't be, I'll lose my audience, they'll all be in the bathroom. So, but welcome, Gary. Happy New Year. I loved your song, man. Your voice is, you got a beautiful voice. It's a really good voice. Very, very mellow, low, baritone, soothing. Pitch is really good. I always think, I don't know how you feel about this, Gary, but I always feel like playing guitar and singing is a lot easier than just singing. Because I really feel like having that guitar vibrate against your chest helps you stay in tune. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, in fact, you can feel it if you hit a note. You can feel like a vibration between the body and the guitar and in your lungs and your chest. Kind of like when I had COVID, the vibrations up here. It was called fizzing. Well, I think I had COVID. See, I never got tested because it was before when tests weren't available. But you feel this kind of flutter in between your guitar and your lungs because you're out of tune. It's like, I don't know if you've ever played in a band and you're tuning and you got your amp pretty loud and you're going, like, you're doing that kind of thing, and the snare, it's out of tune and the snare's going, and you can use the snare to tune. The slower the oscillation on the snare drum, the more in tune you are. Anyway. Weatherman shower offense. Tom has... No. We're not going to do that. I've already told you about the times I've been shocked. None of them were in the rain, but many times on stage. In fact, I got shocked. Was it 2 years ago at the building? The owners hired the cheap electrician. And he came in and he accidentally wired an outlet for 220. It's like, you're going to kill me. You're going to literally kill me. I said, don't ever hire that electrician again. They didn't. Okay. So, so I'm going to jam a little bit on this, and then we can try, then I'll show you the scales, and then we're going to get rid of the middle scale. So I hate to show you something we're going to get rid of, but I just feel for academia purposes, it's a kind of a, good thing to know. Okay, so here's the jam track. Wait, I'm going to go to the beginning. Here we go. And notice that it just doesn't sound very good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. Doesn't sound good. I messed up. There's the C. I want to go to that B natural. Again, it's very, very difficult to stay with one And I don't know if you could hear the guitar. Hopefully you could hear the guitar. Um, oh man, that's crazy. And then you can't go to Packers games. Um, so Gary said he put his son on the list when he was born to get Packers tickets, and he finally got them when he was 21. So, hit the like button. Yeah, 26 watching. It's a little bit on the low side today, but boy, it was kind of exploding there for a minute. I was averaging like for several days, almost over a week, 16,000 views per 48 hours, which was about 50% higher than normal. Normal, I'm around 10 to 11,000. 9,000. Maybe, when I get to Monday morning, it's at 9 or 10,000 because I haven't been on for 3 days. And then once I hit Monday, then because I'm on the live stream, it kind of pumps up my numbers. But yeah, that C minor pentatonic it's just, and also, like I said, it's hard to stick to these scales. You could get away with G minor, kind of with blues, just like G blues, when we're playing the blues. You can get away with G minor pentatonic for the whole thing. Let me show you that. That better than trying to throw that C in there at all, okay? In fact, we might, hold on, sorry, shut up. Okay, there we go. We might try, I got too many windows going on at once, and I've got one screen. I need to get a second screen. And then you'll see me looking over like this all the time, like I'm watching a tennis match. And those are the cheap seats. The seats that are on the side of the tennis match, those are the cheap ones where you're having to go like this. The expensive ones are where you're just looking down from behind the player. I used to play guitar in the VIP tent at the Volvo Open in Los Angeles at UCLA, and so I would sit in the tent. I did this for 10 years. It was like the Mercedes Cup for a while, and it was Volvo. And so a lot of celebrities would come in and out. And Johnny Carson, it was so cool. He came by and he said, "You sounding good, kid." I was like, "Oh." I love Johnny Carson, and he had donated a lot of money. In fact, I think the room I was playing in, he donated the money, and they built it. In fact, I think the whole tennis stadium was called the Johnny Carson Stadium. And so I had this pass where I could go anywhere, and he had a box seat. And tennis tournaments, especially early on, they're pretty empty. I remember sitting up in Johnny Carson's box seat to watch Michael Chang play. It was pretty cool. And you really see the ball, how fast it's going. And then I've stood on the court, right in the corner. Why they let me do that? But I could kind of come in the door. Oh, Denise had a question. Sorry, I missed it. Okay, I'll catch it. Denise. Hey, Addie, good to see you. I don't know, Holly, do you want to be a mod? I can make you a mod. So when I was staying there, I was probably, I don't know, 10 or 15 feet behind, Andre Agassi, and he's receiving the serves, and it's like, you can just see how fast that ball's going. Okay, so Denise, this is going by fast. You guys are chatty. Denise, where's your question? It's so funny when I'm looking for someone, I can't find him. Pepper, let's see, you told me. Or was it Dennis? Maybe you meant Dennis. Oh, Dennis. You did. I'm looking for Denise. I was like, no. Yeah, Holly, do you want to be a mod? I asked, let's see. Yeah, I would say I think Holly needs a mod to keep in line. I agree with that. No, I don't know. I see. Wait. Here. Oh, I got lots of options here. I can put Holly in a timeout. Yeah, you'll see that you have more options with everybody's on everybody's comment, because if you're a moderator, Holly, it's a very powerful. It's a very very powerful job if you get it. Up to you. I don't even know that we need one moderator, but it certainly comes in handy when I'm saying things. And like Dennis, you put up a when you put up a link for me and all that. That really comes in handy. Speaking of, let me grab that Discord link. Oh, I need to upload these scales to the Discord. Let me put up the link first, and then I'll add all of these scale shapes, okay? Because these are new. Introduction, here's the link. I have to go way up here to the top. Oh my gosh. It's so weird, it loads the bottom of the page, so I have to scroll all the way up. It takes forever. Okay. Dennis is gonna beat me to it. Okay, I'll make you a mod, Holly. So here's the link for the Discord. Now these diagrams I just did, I'm going to upload those and the new one that's going to be replace the C minor pent here in a minute with Holly's favorite G meth. Let's see. Okay, there's that. Now so and these are all under Tom's Lessons PDFs. Okay. And now I got to write a song. Like I said, I'm leaning towards keeping this really simple and maybe just doing the. Okay. So it's all up there now in the Discord. All of these skip these things. So these scales right here, they're all up in the Discord now. You can download them, and I put the G meth up there too. So I'm gonna show you that in a second. See, there's Denise. Denise, you had a question? Pepper said you had a question. Oh, and Becker's here. Hey, Becker, what's going on, man? So I just uploaded these diagrams. I'm just talking about how the C, again, just like in the case of the blues, the C minor pentatonic sounds lame in the context of G, in the key of G, when it's the 4 chord. I don't know why, but it's by itself. By itself, it sounds fine. But when we know the root key is G, when we're going back to a lot of G chords, like every other chord in this song is G, that E flat just sounds bad. So I'm just being honest here. Oh, you got to teach. What are you going to teach yourself? You're going to take yourself out back and teach yourself a lesson. So yeah, the C minor pentatonic I'm going to replace with a G minor pent, but I'm real tempted for us to just kind of jam on the G minor pent for maybe the week. I don't know, because I could do G minor pent and then show you the G minor blues. See, I should have had a plan. But this is pretty typical for me. I wouldn't have a plan for most lessons, so. But like I said, when I was soloing, it's very difficult to stick to one scale when I'm soloing, because it's just one tool, and I have so many tools at my disposal that it forces you to kind of like be very kind of juvenile in my playing, because I can't really go somewhere I'm hearing myself go, because I'm not. Somebody asked me, am I thinking scales? Am I thinking notes? I'm really not. I'm trying to think I'm trying to be melodic and say something musically, right? Like it's like having a conversation. If I were to have a conversation and say, well, I'm only going to use the first 12 letters of the alphabet in my conversation. For one thing, it would really be very difficult. And secondly, it probably wouldn't make a lot of sense, and I wouldn't be able to say everything I wanted to say. And that's kind of the same thing that's happening when I'm just, limiting myself to one scale. We're gonna start to, combine these things and create hybrid scales too. We've kind of already done that without knowing it, but hey, Sam, good to see you. Hey, Mugu Mugu. I'm glad you've been busy, and congratulations on your new house, I guess. That's a good thing. I hope it's a good thing. You're gonna teach yourself manners, yeah. I'm gonna teach myself some manners. Take myself out back. Oh, so okay. So wait, I got. Hold on a second. Check this out. Boom. I'll type something, Holly. Yeah, no, I'm just messing around with you, Denise. Pepper said Denise had a question and she meant Dennis. And so I was like, Denise isn't here. So Holly, type something. I want to see if you're a mod now. Ooh, look at that. Your name is Blue. Don't go power mad, okay? All right, so let's see. Ooh, I'm blue. Am I blue? Yes, I'm blue. All right. So again, so let's do this. Let's do this G minor pentatonic, okay? Let's just do that one for now. Okay, so we're gonna start here. There's our F and there's our G. So right away we get to our. One of the great things about the G is that we've got 3 roots. We've got 3 G's that we can land on if we need to find some home base. And the G works great over the G chord. It works great over the C chord because there's a G in the C chord. Remember, C, E, G. Over the D, it doesn't work so good. But we have that F right there, and that sounds good because that's the flat 5. We just did that. What was that? Yeah, when we did the Mixolydian scale, that F natural sounded really good over the D chord. It sounds just bluesy. Kind of made it sound like bluesgrass instead of bluegrass. No. I know the feed is the text feed. I know. I can see actually because in my OBS it's instant, but when I look over here and see the little window there in YouTube Studio, it's at least 20-30 seconds behind. So, and that's the YouTube feed. So that you're getting that, and by the time you get that, and by the time you react to that, it's going to be. It could be. I don't know. We've measured it. I think we. Dennis, I think we timed it, right? It was maybe I'm closer to like 20 seconds total or something like that. Just seems longer when I'm sitting here waiting for your reply. Jay. Oh, hey, Jay. Washington State. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go first fret, 3rd fret on the bottom string, and then the next string we're going to go 1, 3 again, and on the next string open, and then 3rd fret, and then open and 3rd fret, and then 1, 3, 1, 3. Now this is technically pentatonic number 5. Pentatonic number 1, G minor pentatonic right here. And it's our favorite pentatonic. It has every other note is played with the 1st finger. Well, in this case, because we're playing open, it's great because normally when we do pentatonic number 5, we would play it and we'd have every other note played by the pinky, which made it kind of like, I don't like the scale too much because it depends too much on the pinky. But when we're playing in open position, the pinky's not even involved. So it's just 1, and Holly's happy about that. 1, 3, 1, 3, 0, 3, 0, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3. So those numbers all, because we're in open position, those fret numbers also correspond to your finger numbers. So when I say 1, it means the 1st fret. It also means the 1st finger. Okay, so we've got, and the notes in that are G right here, then B flat, C, D, F, and then G again. Pentatonic. There's 5 notes. That's why it's called pentatonic. it's hard because I want to do things like because see, the cool thing about when you're soloing, you can kind of go back and forth between major and minor, especially in this context. If you're playing over kind of a major chord, you can kind of go minor on it to give it kind of a bluesy sound. You can go major on it, make a happy sound. The G major sixth. Oh, it should be G minor sixth. I should change the whatever. I wrote it wrong, but you don't see it yet. But I'll write it right up there. So the G minor sixth pentatonic kind of does both those things. Kind of does the happy and the minor together. Kind of as it's pseudo hybrid scale technically. But so it's really difficult for me to just do that. But let's do this. Start on the G. Okay. Let's play the G's for a second. Here's a G. Play that bottom third fret, open G string, and then top string third fret. Those are your G's. Those are all good landing notes, especially on the G chord and on the C chord. And the D chord, if we want to know where the D's are, open D string, which is the fourth string open, and third fret here. So when you get to that D chord, you can land on that D and it's going to sound like you know what you're doing. Okay? We having sound issues? Yeah, I mean it's a fun scale to play actually in open position. It's a little, like I said, it's a little hard because I want to go. I want to go to other scales, but let's play it together. Start on G. 3, 1, 3, 0, 3, 0, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3. Hey! And then backwards. 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 0, 3, 0, 3, 1, 3. Hey Hashim, Ben Neal, I think, let me find it. Ben Neal did a pretty good, he was pretty close. In fact, he kind of asked me, did I get it right? Or, let's see, Ben Neal did a pretty good tutorial on it. The honest truth is, we talk about ETA, the Bieber song. Let's see. All right. It's always funny to see someone do a tutorial on your song. This guy got pretty close. There's a lot of people that did lessons on it. The piano ones too. Got cover with tabs. It's funny. A lot of covers. Oh. I have to check out some of these. Yeah, so Ben got it pretty close. In fact, because I did a little video, I think on my Instagram or something, and I did do a video, but this is Ben Neal in Australia. He did so that one's pretty close. So if you want to get the gist of it, you can check that one out. But because basically it was me like jamming for about 5 minutes, and then I sent that to them, and then the producer Phil cut it up and made it into a song. So there's not very much there's not a whole lot of redundancy. I mean, I think maybe I don't know if I did that more than once in the original, but that happens. This lick happens, I think, twice or 3 times in the song. So that was probably copy and pasted. So Phil did a phenomenal job, I mean, of making my kind of ramblings. And I just as a broader, bigger lesson here, really what I do when I'm writing pop hooks like that, or particularly that kind of pop hooks when I'm getting requests for that kind of thing, I usually have a beat going and I just record and I just keep recording. And then I keep playing and just keep playing and I just keep the red light on. And so that I capture everything just in case I'm like, okay, shoot, what did I do? And so then I'll go back. If I get to a moment where I think, okay, this is the vibe I want, then I stop, drag that file up so it's there, but it's muted. And then I start over again with that vibe. And I'm like, okay, now I've found the vibe. And on that song, it was funny because normally I would have 5 or 6, jams above where I maybe went for 10 or 15 minutes trying to find the vibe. And then I finally got the final take. And I keep everything. And that I send them the final take. And that is one pass that I did, but it was edited by Phil Boudreau. And but on ETA, there was only one. The original that I sent him was 5 minutes long, and there was only one jam that was like 2 minutes long that was above it, and that was me kind of getting in the groove and trying. And I have a beat that I'm playing over, just some random. I'll drop some random beat, maybe set it to swing a little bit or something, just to make it vibey, so that I'm not playing just a click. Nothing's more uninspiring than playing with a click. So I should do an ETA tutorial. That may come this year. Should have done it right when the record came out. I can't monetize it because I'm not the only writer on it. So it would be something that would drive views to my channel, which is always good. But it's also, I'm driving subscribers to my channel that are not going to be satisfied because I'm not going to be teaching a lot of pop songs. So they're going to be like, well, why did I subscribe to Tom if I'm not learning every guitar song that's out there, So I don't really generally, as Bruce would normally tell people, I don't do song tutorials because I can't monetize them or I can't get all the money. I want all the money. These videos, even though I only got like 1,000 views of each of these videos, I make all of that dollar. That dollar is mine, man. No, I'm pretty honest about the money. I think, let's see, what I can tell you what, like 1,000, for me anyway, I don't know it's true for everybody because everybody, gets their views different ways. But if I click on content, and I'm on my thing here live, and I look at okay, so 1,100 views, which is pretty good of the previous lesson, okay? Lesson 157. Okay, so if I click on, okay, here we go, monetization. Oh, no, that's not what I want. I want analytics. Here we go. So my total revenue is $3.73 on 1,000 spins. So I don't know if that's true across the board, but you can look at something that has, so you're looking at basically almost $4 for 1,000 spins. Not quite. It's like actually, because I rounded down for 1,000 and I rounded up for the thing, so it's probably less than that, like $3.50 for 1,000 spins. So if you have 10,000 spins, that's $35. If I have a video that gets 100,000 spins, which is pretty rare, you're looking at $350, which is then it's worth. Then it's in the realm of being worth my time. And then if it's so then that would be, so what, 1 million would be 3,500, and 10 million would be 35,000. But I think it goes up at a certain point. Oh, somebody's got a question. I don't have my own line of picks. I couldn't do, Dennis, I can't do that. I use different picks for every situation. This is just a few of the picks that I have, including bottle caps. I could do a line of bottle cap picks. I'd have to talk to Pepsi because they make the perfect one. Yeah, Fender String Bender. This is just life lessons. No, you're right. I should get back to it. I get sidetracked. I'm answering questions. It's always an AMA when it comes to me. And everybody will tell you I get, you can go ahead and give me a thumbs down. That's fine. I deserve it. So basically, the G minor pentatonic works over this whole progression. I know you're going to keep asking. That's fine, Dennis. Okay, so the G minor, pentatonic works good. But I could start there and then add some notes like the blues or the major third. So there's a lot of things I could do. I could add the sixth or the second. So it's hard to just play the bluegrass jam with the bluegrass jam with one scale because my brain doesn't. So now just for academic purposes, let me show you the C minor pentatonic, and we're just going to do like the top 5 strings. We're not going to do them down here. Okay, so start on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. Okay. Yeah, well, and this is just some of them, including I have a drawer over here full of picks. Yeah, I love these vegan picks, but these are like $15 a pop. They're not cheap, but I love them. And this is actually the gypsy jazz pick, but I love the clickiness of it. I use these gravity picks a lot because I like the rough edge to get that. You can't really hear it; it's pretty subtle. But if I'm strumming, a lot of times I'll use a very thin, like Dunlop, or thin for me. There's also the vegan bluegrass pick, which is one I should be using for this lesson. It sounds so dark to me, but it's actually not a bad thing. But this guitar is pretty dark. Okay, squirrel, big time. Thank you, Fender. Okay, Fender's string bender. That's actually a really good handle. Okay, so the C, starting on the 3 there. Okay, they go 1st fret, 3rd fret, open, 3rd fret, 1st fret, 4th fret. See, we gotta have our pinky in here. 1st fret, 3rd fret, 1st fret, 3rd fret. 4th fret, 1st, 3rd, open, 3rd, 1, and then back to 3. So that's starting again on the bottom there. Yes, that's funny. Oh, abalone. Yeah, I could see you using a piece of shell. Back in the day, everybody used tortoise. Picks were made out of tortoise. That's why when you see like Fender, I don't even know if I have one of those Fender picks. I mean, here's one. I can't believe I still have this. I bought this when I was like 20 or 19 or something. That's an agate pick, and it was $15, I think, at the time, which was a fortune for me. And I wanted it because I was trying to be the fastest guitar player in the world, and I thought a harder pick would make it faster. And it actually sounds kind of cool. But yeah, I still actually have that. But if you look at, see, I don't have Fender pick in here. If you look at the standard Fender picks, and here, see, this one was, I think this pick is $40, believe it or not. This is one of those blue chip picks, and from Nashville, I think. These are like the bluegrass. Those guys use these picks. And it's funny because I lose pick. I would buy picks by the gross, like my purple picks. I used to buy these by the gross, and I would lose them by the gross. And I was like, I can't get an expensive pick or I'm going to lose it. And I find that I never lose expensive ones. I'm like, where's that pick? Okay, I need to know where it is at all times. It's like a child. Actually, I've lost my kids more than I've lost my expensive picks. So, yeah, that bowl's pretty cool, isn't it? I don't know what that is. What is that thing? Isn't that beautiful? Somebody gave that to me. Or, no, you know what it was? Somebody left it behind in an apartment. One of the advantages of managing apartment buildings is people leave stuff behind. I don't think we have that much furniture that was left behind. Nothing in here was left behind. Nobody left behind any guitars, unfortunately. Okay, so the C minor pentatonic. Okay, I just showed it to you. We're gonna move on. Let's do the D minor pentatonic. That one I actually would use. And all that you're really doing is you're taking that B flat in the G minor pentatonic and you're making it an A. That's all we're doing. Okay, so all the B flats. Yeah, I use my fingers all the time too. Yep. Some of my favorite. Yeah, the purple Tortex are great. That was my main pick probably for 20 years. The purple Tortex. But now I've gotten into the gravities just because they have that rough edge on them, and I like that kind of sound. It's not quite as drastic as the West German pick that the Edge uses, which I like. I like when I'm doing a blues solo. I like that because it really is bitey. It's like it's got that distortion at the source of the pick, which I like. But so the D minor pentatonic, let's start on the D for just a second. We'll go all the way down to the bottom string, but let's start on the D string. Okay, get ourselves centered, play a D chord. Okay, now hit D. Okay, then hit D, open, and then a 3rd fret, then open, 2nd fret, 1st fret, and 3rd fret. Okay, let's just play that snippet, that much of it, which is not much of a snippet, it's actually the whole scale. Again, 5-note scale, and then we go full octave. That makes it a 6-note scale, but it's really technically only 5 different notes. Okay? Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah, they have gravity picks have a lot of options. And they're $5 each, basically, is what they cost. So that's not too bad, but it's like, I do lose these. It's funny because they're not in that $15 range where I'm like, I'm not going to lose this pick. They're in that $5 range where it's like, oh yeah, I lost 5 of those this year, so. Yeah, Jeff, the pentatonic scales, keep in mind the pentatonic scale, a diatonic scale is 7 notes and would be comprised of only whole steps and half steps, right? When we did our whole lesson on modes, we remember the whole, half, and all that stuff. So it sounded like we're Santa Claus or something. And then when you start to remove notes, you're going to end up with bigger intervals. So pretty much like the G to B flat is a minor 3rd or 3 frets. B flat to C is a major 2nd or a whole step. C to D is a major 2nd, and then a minor 3rd to F, and then you can really see if you play it on one string. So let's play the G. We're going back to the first scale, G major pentatonic. Actually, let's do it with a D. We'll do it because we're talking about D right now. So play on the D string, okay? Hit the D string. Okay, the next note is F, and just go ahead and play it with your first finger for now, okay? And so notice that's a minor 3rd. That interval, don't worry. There won't be a quiz on this. But that's a minor 3rd. I'm just answering Jeff's question. Okay. And then we have a whole step to G. G is the next note. That's a whole step or 2 frets. And then A is the next note. That's another whole step up. And then go up to C, 3 frets up. We're on the 10th fret now. And that's a minor 3rd again. So the only intervals we'll have in these pentatonic shapes are minor 3rds and major 2nds. A whole step and a step and a half is what Jeff was saying. I think you said whole step and a half apart. Yeah. Yep. So that's, definitely all. So you're going to see a little bit more. It's going to sound a little more open. All right. So let's do this D scale again. D, 3rd fret, open G, 2nd fret, 1st fret, D. Chord. So you can hear that contrast between the F natural, which is not in the D chord. D chord has an F sharp. Oops. And teacher becomes the student. I'm looking at my hands, not I'm looking at my hands there, not here. It's a fun scale to play. So I think that, you know, I think if you could camp out over this chord progression, this very basic bluegrass jam that I posted. You could camp out there very confidently and thoroughly and musically by just using the G minor pen and the D minor pen. You could avoid the C minor pen altogether, okay? However, I did notice one little weird idiosyncrasy. If I add the blues note to the C minor pent, which is technically an F sharp, I would call it a G flat, which a G flat should not work over in the key of G, but for some reason, it gives that E flat a little bit, just a skosh more legitimacy, or a skosh more, makes it make a little bit more sense. Hey, Seamus, good to see you. David Sillers, good to see you. Hey, Udayan, good to see you. I'm struggling with scales in the guitar. I'm confused that you can practice, that who I can practice. Please guide me. Well, can you, Udayan, can you see in that first scale up here? Okay, I'm going to point. Let's see. Oh, look at this. I'm going to point correctly because I sat and thought about it for 10 seconds. Okay, this scale right here are down. Can you see those red notes? Those red notes are the G's. Those are all the roots of the scale, okay? The notes that we're playing, these notes, the top scale here, the G minor pent, G, B flat, C, D, F, those are right here, okay? And those are every one of those notes in that position. So the way you read that diagram is you start on that red note and then you go up to the next string and you find the lowest note on that string. You play that one and then the next string, and then, oh, you're out of strings on that. You're out of notes on that string. Then you move up to the next one. Do I have a scale lesson? Boy, we've been talking about scales so much in all our live stream stuff. If he doesn't mind perusing those. And as I went through channel content, let's see. Let me get rid of this. As I look at my, I don't know if I go back on my live streams, some of them, you know, get up in the 1200, 1300, so people are watching them later. Weird. Not changing pages for some reason. Weird. I don't know why. What's going on here? I got a weird. Maybe I'm just. Anyway, it looks like the numbers go up a little bit. You know, so definitely people are going back and checking things out. And our numbers are going up here in this. Oops, here's an old lesson. But yeah, you might be able to continue, go through some of my old videos. In fact, if you go back to, what lesson was it where I started on the G major scale? This one here. That would be a good one to start on, I think. Open G scale, yeah, you know. So that lesson was, let's see. I could find it. Oh, well, if it would let me go. Oh, I see. I see what happened. Okay, never mind. Duh. Okay. So actually, that lesson was 146, I believe. Yeah. So here, let me give you a link if I can. Get a shareable link. Okay. So maybe Udayan, try this one. You're gonna have to. Somebody may have posted when the lesson actually starts, but if you don't mind the banter, but I start. scales are great, but they're only scales are only one tool. You know, each scale is only one tool in how to play over a song. When we're talking about improvising, see, and bluegrass is a very improvisational. Bluegrass is a lot like bebop. It's you play the song down once, and then everybody takes solos. So you play the song once with somebody playing the melody, and say the song is 32 bars long, then now you've got at least one time through the song, the fiddle player is going to play a solo, and then the mandolin player, and then the banjo player, and then the dobro player, and then the guitar player, and then the bass player. You could literally do the song 7 or 8 times all the way through with everybody taking a shot at it. So that's why we're talking about soloing in the context of scales and everything, because these are all tools that we use to make up melodies as we go. I'm going to go back to the D minor here in a second. So that's kind of, and you can join the Discord too. There's a lot of talk about that there. As far as learning scales, if you're going to be playing a song, okay, that's all in the key of G. Every note I played there, for the most part, it changes at some point, but that's not in the key. That's out of the key. But knowing scales will help you play songs as well, because you'll know there's 12 diatonic, or there's 12 notes possible, and when you play a diatonic scale, you're limiting that to 7. So that's why it's good to know diatonic scales, because that'll tell you every note that you're going to need to know for this song, unless there's a note that goes out of the key, and which sometimes happens. Okay, so anyway. Yeah, and I haven't uploaded any. I think I uploaded a total of 5 videos last year in 2020, because I've been doing this live stream for so much. It's kind of taking up all my YouTube time during the week. But I hope to, I've got lots of ideas for new videos. Endless libations, yeah. You know, I haven't said anything in a while that I haven't justified. Also, Diane, something just came to mind and just immediately flew out of my head. Oh, I know. I did a series that's really kind of fun. I think it was really cool. It was hugely unpopular. Let's see. I call Intro to Improvisation. Okay. Show all. Okay, let me see these here. So here's the first one. Check this out. This one, well, yeah, it's got 3,500 views. The jam track has 5,000 views. That's interesting. And it comes with a jam track too. But here I show you a very simple scale, and then I play licks, and you copy me. It's like you mock me, like you are now, like everyone's doing right now. Everybody's mocking you right now. Yes, that's exactly what Gary's going for, Jeff. It's the holy hand grenade of Antioch. Yes. Thou shalt countest to 3. Thou shalt not countest to 2 unless thou proceedeth to 3. And 4 is right out. I love that bit. My favorite bit in that, though, I think, is where the guys are guarding the prince in the castle, and they're like, right, well, we're coming with you. No, you stay here. That cracks me up every single time. Okay, I touched my face, so now we can take a sip. All right, so maybe if I reference Holy Grail, then we can take a sip. Okay, so let's go back to the G one. And let's play G. Well, let's play a G chord. You can play it like this, or you can play it like this. All right? We're centering ourselves. Let's play the first octave of the G chord. G minor pentatonic. G, B flat, C, open D, F, and G. Backwards, G, 3rd fret, open, 3rd fret, 1st fret, and then 3rd fret down here. And hit the G chord. Do it again. G, B flat, C, D, F, G. backwards, G, F, D, C, B flat, G. Yes, the proposal, what was the 15th? Where's 15? Yeah, my sister hasn't been on in a while. I haven't talked to her. I talked to her more on our live stream than I talked to her in person. Okay, and now let's do the second octave. So we're going to start on G. Play the G chord. You notice when I'm playing G chord, sometimes I just play it like this. What I'm doing there, I don't have the A string open. I'm muting it with the fleshy part of my third finger. Okay, and then I'm just got my pinky. The reason I'm doing that is so I have two fingers available for stuff like that, and I'm muting this string because the other thing is if you play G this way, technically, guitar is actually a fairly low instrument. And so that's a little on the muddy side. Oh yeah, point is correct. If I point correctly, that might be a sippable offense. Yeah, yeah. If I point incorrectly, I think we would be out of libations really quickly. Frothy libations or otherwise. OBS. Somebody asked what software I'm using. Gary's riffing on the... Okay, so the second octave again, G, D flat, C, D, F, and G. It's got this nice little box right here. Okay, remember box shapes and scales? I kind of have a Facebook. I don't really do a lot on there. Sometimes I answer questions on there, but for the most part, you know. But so like I said, over the jam. Oh, I lost the jam. Here it is. It sounds a little like a scale. I mean, of course it sounds like a scale. It is a scale. It sounds like an exercise. When you're just playing the one scale, it sounds like you're just doing patterns or something. It's really hard to be melodic when you're not giving yourself all the tools. At least it's hard for me to be melodic when I'm not giving. So that's where now my job for the next 48 hours is to try to come up with a song, because we have 4 songs so far. Every week I've created a song. So if you're new or whatever, first time viewer, hey Aslan. If you can go to the Discord, and I've uploaded these PDFs, so you can. These are songs that I wrote for each of the weeks that we've done this. So the first week we were doing G major scale, and I wrote Uncle Jan's Reel, which was dedicated to Dennis's, one of our moderators, uncle, who passed away of COVID the very week I wrote this. In fact, I think the same day I wrote this. And so I asked him, would it be okay? And he said, yes. I don't want to be disrespectful, so I asked. And then Pent Up was the next week. We did these scales, the major pentatonics, which sound a little bit more bluegrassy, but skew more to the grass and less to the blues. Let's put it that way. So they're more grass and less blues. And then I added blues notes to these. So I made what I call major blues scales. And the major note, and then that was the song that I wrote using for that was Inigo Montoya from Rancho Cucamonga. Again, there's no such thing as a good name for an instrumental song. So it's like I make the point right here. So this one uses that, and again, you can download these for free at the and then maybe at some point I will record all of these and then post them. You know, maybe on I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do a Bandcamp thing, and then you can download them you know, and then pay what you want. I'm not gonna. I mean, I would love, you know, if you give me $5 or something, that would be great. But anyway, tips are always appreciated. But then flipping off the parents was the next week. And the reason that's called that is because I originally had a longer name for it, but the whole premise of that was if you the cool thing about G Mixolydian scale, it sounds cooler if you go play a little bit in G major and then go to G Mixolydian. So G major sounds like, oh, you know, like if you're bringing your parents breakfast in bed, and G Mixolydian sounded like you were flipping off your parents. So but G Mixolydian wouldn't sound like you're flipping off your parents if you didn't bring them up breakfast in bed. I don't know if that makes any sense. But the contrast makes it sound a little bit more anti-establishment. So now we're in pure minor pentatonics, which have a very bluesy sound, and by themselves are a little bit, you don't have a whole lot of melodic options. So now I'm trying to think of, how am I going to write a song? Okay, now here's what I am going to do. Check this out. I am going to get rid of this C minor pen. Or, you know, maybe what I'll do is I'll make it really small. How about that? I'll make it really tiny and go, bye-bye. People are going to be like, why is that there? Okay. And a better scale for the C chord, if we are going to actually change chords for the C chord, this is a better scale. Okay? It's a little bit more like, what the heck? Whoops. It's kind of crazy looking, but it actually, so what this is a G minor pentatonic. Hey, Emma changed the card type. Wow. Okay. So, sorry. So what it is I'm going to change this here too. I'm going to edit the text, okay? And I'm going to write it correct this time. I accidentally used a capital M there. I should have used a small case M. But I was thinking that the interval was a major sixth. But anyway, I don't want to confuse you here. Okay, so G, that would be G, B flat, C, D, E. Okay, there's no F in that. So we take the F's, the F in the G minor pentatonic up here. Okay, I'm trying to point at it right there. All right, you see the F in that top scale. We took that down to E natural, and that accommodates the E C chord better. Now there's no blues sound over that C chord necessarily, but that B flat in that G minor 6 pentatonic scale gives you a bluesy sound over the C chord. So let's check this out. Let's play the top 3 strings, okay? So start with the open G string, okay? Then play the 3rd fret. Okay, that's B flat, then go to C. Then 3rd fret is D, and then open E, and then G. Okay, so we have, it's cool sounding too. Play over to C chord, hit a C chord. That's, yeah, weird. I hear a lot of people saying they're not getting notifications, B. I don't know what that is. I've never turned on notifications for anyone I follow because I really don't have notifications turned on my phone. So I don't get notifications from Facebook. The only notifications I get are from texts to my phone and email to my main email address. All the other email addresses I don't want to get a notification that Sears is sending me an email, Not that they do, but the Discord's kind of cool because now we could play this C to C too. I could have put C to C on here. Let's start on the C note here, which is the 3rd fret of the 5th string, and then we're going to go open D, 2nd fret, open G, and 3rd fret. I love that bit, man. That's it's hard to grab that C though. I want to hit that open B. Okay, so that will actually work. Let's see if I could. I'm going to slow. Remember, the cool thing about this, particularly my bluegrass jam track, which is here. I'll give you the link again because we've got a lot of new people joining in here. This is the jam track I'm using. The cool thing about this jam track is it's set at. I recorded it at 100 beats per minute, and if you go to the little the settings icon there, you got playback speed. You can go. You've got 0.25, which would mean it would be 25 beats per minute. 0.5, which would make it 50 beats per minute. 0.75, which would make it 75 beats per minute. And that's where I'm going to go. And you can also go to 125, 150, 175, and 200. So you can double the speed of it. Or, no, I don't want to go 5. I want to go 0.75. So this is that jam track at 0.75. It doesn't play the ads back that slow, though. That would be fun. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's cool. Okay, so again, we're getting into the whole snippet thing, and snippets are just little pieces of the scale. So look at the middle 2 strings of all 3 scales, all right? And you'll be able to have you'll be able to get a really good snapshot of the subtle changes between these 3 scales. And so what I'm doing is I'm using G minor pentatonic, which would work over all 3 chords totally fine, but I'm using G minor pentatonic over the G chord. Now I'm just playing the middle 2 strings. And then I'm using, in this case, G minor 6th pentatonic. And I apologize for that capital M. It should be a small case M. But G minor 6th pentatonic. And if I just look at the middle 2 strings, it's, well, let me look at the G minor 6. Sorry, G minor pentatonic is open on the 4th string. 3rd fret, open, 3rd fret. Okay? G minor 6 pentatonic, which is really nice over the C chord, is open, 2nd fret, open, 3rd fret. Hey Dash, good to see you again. Oh good, I'm glad your eyeballs are, I only have one eyeball, so I got to keep mine. I was just saying I need to go to the eye doctor too. It's been too long. I'm supposed to go every 6 months. I think it's been about 6 months. I can't remember. But okay. Was late today. Go to Discord generic YouTube links to see why Richard Smith's The Entertainer. Richard Smith. Oh, the guitar player. Oh, I know Richard. I think. Let me see. What link are you talking about? You said Discord generic YouTube links. Oh, I'm not on YouTube or Discord anymore. Here, hold on. Oh, and let me while I'm at Discord, let me go to here. This just takes forever for me to get to the top of this. It's hilarious. I need to save that link somewhere else. It's funny. I always go to the Discord here to copy the link, and I have to end up scrolling up a million pages. So here's the Discord link to join up. Okay, so you posted what general? What did you Sam, what did you post it? You posted it in, I was like to go to Discord generic YouTube links to see why. Richard Smith. I'm just curious if it's the same Richard Smith I know. Probably a common name, or it is a common name. Very cool. Anyway, oh, sorry. I don't see it. Where is it? Where in the link? Beautiful. Oh, wait. No? Stuff bot commands. It's not under bot commands. No. Followers would, no, it wouldn't be there. Huh. Oh, bottom left. I'm so bad at this whole Discord thing. Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, I did the wrong. And why I made a phone call accidentally. That's funny. I called myself. No. Oh, Nashville. Okay, that's a different guy. Yeah, that's a different. Yeah, Richard Smith's a pretty common name. The Richard Smith I know was the head of the studio jazz guitar department at USC. He's a great jazz guitar player. So I was like, oh, maybe he did a cover of The Entertainer. Okay. So, okay, so again, we're getting back to the middle two strings. So for G minor pen, we can go D, G, D, F, G, B flat. So that's the middle two strings of the G minor pen. And when we get to the C chord, we go second fret, open second fret, open third fret. Okay? And then for the D chord, so that's for the C chord, play a C chord. And for the D chord, hey, what's going on, Mamba? D chord, we're gonna play open D, third fret, open G, and second fret. And that makes the change there. We have an A note instead of a B flat. And then maybe there we resolve on a D note. Okay, so let's do this for the first one. For G minor pen, let's go. Kind of playing like, kind of the lick from Layla, right? Right? Open, third, open, third, and then G string open. Okay? And go to the C chord, play a C chord, and we're going to go open, second, open, third, open, second, and then go back to the G. So we end on a G note. Because we don't have, in that little snippet, we don't have a C note. So we can't resolve down to C. We don't have it in there. So, but a G note's a good note to land on for the C chord. And then for the D, we can end on the D note. We got the D note. So play the D chord and hit open D, third fret, open G, second fret, open G, third fret, and open. Oh, I gotta click away from that because, okay. So if I play the jam track at 75 beats per minute, do the first shape. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm playing the scales. I'm playing those 3 scales, but I'm only using 2 strings of them. So keeping it pretty simple. And I almost, like I said, I've said in the past, I wish that progression was twice as long on each chord. You know, I wish it was G. You know, so we could develop. Now for songwriting, it would make it more difficult. So when I write a song for Wednesday, I will probably use these 3 scales. I will definitely try to utilize all 3 of the scales, okay? Again, these are just silly songs that are kind of hammering home. In fact, in the titles of the songs, I should have said the scale we're using, which is, I may do that with this one. Oh, you got me you got me a Discord link. Let me click on it. Oh. What do you mean accept invite? That's, no, sorry. Squirrel is named Smith. Yeah. Oh, Tom's room, generic, very bottom. Weird. Okay, why am I not seeing that? Tom's room. Tom's room. Tom's voice channel. Tom's. Said, you're saying bottom left, right? Or did you say very bottom? See, I'm. Oh, wait. No, that's the list of people on. Everybody's on. There's a lot of people on. But they're probably on different channels. No, I don't want help desk. So weird. Guitar practice. Okay. Yeah, it's so weird. I'm not seeing it. I do not. I'm not. I can send you a screenshot. Oh, wait. Sorry. No. So wait, you said. Wait, saying, oh, Tom's room, generic. Oh my goodness, there it is. Okay. Never saw this before. Guitar YouTube links. Oh, I see you guys. Okay. Oh, that, I have seen that. Yes. Yeah, I know that guy. He's freaking insane. Fingerstyle champion. Yeah, it's crazy stuff, isn't it? Man, I lost. we were at like what 48. Now we're down to 36 because I'm like, I may have to go back and chop that part out of the video. Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. So that's going to be my job, is to try to kind of come up with a melody that a song that uses these scales. Now, if we look at, there's no other snippet. There's no other two-string snippet where we get all of the change. Well, there is. If we play the fourth and fifth. Yeah, if we played the fourth and fifth strings, we would also have. I'm looking for snippets where we can see the difference between the scales. Like if I just play the top two strings, the G minor pentatonic and the D minor pentatonic look the same. Part of the reason why G minor pentatonic works great over the D chord. It works fine over the D chord. Yeah, I found it. I wasn't seeing that. Yeah. That was cool that you did that. And I've never even looked at any of those. It's so funny. Oh, awesome, Mamba. So yeah, so that wouldn't be, but then for the G minor 6 for the C, we would have a change. So the middle two strings and then the fourth and fifth strings are the only spots on these scales where within 4 notes you can see all three scales. And again, you can see the teeny tiny scale, which is what we started with, and theoretically and academically learned this scale, but it doesn't sound very good. Sorry, there we go. It doesn't sound very good. Just like when we were doing the blues, this is the B.B. King scale right here. I call it the happy blues scale, or the happy pentatonic. It's kind of a crazy scale. Let's practice the scale a little bit. Let's do a couple times through. I'll do one time up and down, giving you fret numbers, and then I'll do one time up and down, giving you note names, okay? Because I think it's important for you to start to learn the note names, even though there won't be a quiz on it. Udayan, it depends. I mean, I would say, who are your favorite guitar players? What do they use? Because that's who you're going to want to sound like. And if your favorite guitar players play with their fingers, then you're going to be struggling with your pick. If you're studying classical guitar, you wouldn't be doing pick. You'd be doing fingers. Okay. If you're interested in rock or blues or jazz or bluegrass, anything like that, you're probably going to want to have a pick in your hand. So it does take a while to get used to having a pick in your hand. A lot of people drop picks all the time. So okay, so let's play this scale. We're going to start down here to the G minor 6th scale, or the G minor 6th pentatonic. So we had 3, then 1, 3, 0, 2, open, 3, 1, 3, 0, 3. And you'll be glad to know, Holly, there's no pinky involved in this scale. No pinkies were harmed in the making of this scale. Then 3, we're going to go descending, starting on the G note. 3, 0, 3, 1, 3, 0, 2, 0, 3, 1, 3. Okay? And I'm going to do it again. Hey, Michael. Yeah, you're getting good at getting the pick out of the body. Yeah, that happens all. Oh my gosh, that happens so much, especially early on. I don't want that. Okay, so all right. Oh, here's what I want. Okay, so I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to tell you the notes in this scale. So we got G. First fret is B flat. 3rd fret is C, then we have D, and then we have E. And who was it that pointed out, who was it pointed out the major seconds and minor thirds? The same, has a lot of the same traits as a typical pentatonic. So we're on an E now, then open G, 3rd string open, 3rd fret on the 3rd string, which is B flat, then C on the 1st fret, D, E, G, and then backwards, G, E, D, C, B flat, G, E, this is the weird one, there you go, D, C, B flat, and G. It's a new one for me too. Don't have an F. Okay, so the reason this works really well over the C chord is because if you look at it, there's a C, an E, and a G in the scale. So if we're up here and you look at the 2nd scale here, the G minor 6th scale, we have a G, we have a B flat, a C, a D, and an E. Well, the C, E, G are the notes in, so 3 of those 5 notes are actually chord tones. So that makes complete sense that it fits really well over that. The other tones are the D, which is in between the root and the 3rd. Okay, and the B flat, which is what gives it that kind of bluesy sound. You got that flat 7th. So it's like, in other words, we're kind of superimposing a C7 chord over that C chord. Okay, remember, we're in bluegrass, so we're not playing 7th chords generally. Like, we're definitely not playing major 7th chords, right? You wouldn't play C major 7 in bluegrass. So we're just gonna play pure C. So you can superimpose that B flat in there, and so if I went, that definitely sounds bluegrassy. 7th chords are definitely more. Again, remember the word blue is in bluegrass, so we can definitely imply all those 7ths. We can really definitely imply all those 7th notes that over the chords, and so those all work fine. The major 7ths are the ones that are like, it's just it's like, what? That sounds like Kiss Me or something, It's just too sexy. Bluegrass is not sexy. I'm sorry. I don't care who's playing it. Even when Molly Tuttle plays it, it's not sonically sexy anyway. Let's see. Yeah, I think it was Joe. I think you're right. I think, Dennis, it was Joe um, who was asking me about that. But okay, so all right, what else do we have? Hey, Easy's in the house. I missed that. Did I get that question, Dennis? I saw it, I think, as it went by. Where's you? Oh, as a beginner, should I start using a pick? Oh, yeah, I got that. Okay. So, yeah, so I would base it on who you like to listen, what style of music you want to do. If you're really into figure style, then obviously you're not going to want to use, if you're into Cheddar. If you're really in, no, I know, but the music. If you didn't see her play, you didn't see Molly Tuttle playing, you wouldn't have any like romantic thoughts listening to bluegrass music, the music playing. So she's a great player. She has great harmonic ideas. She does some really cool stuff that's like, she takes things in, and actually she brings in some pop elements, but she sneaks them in a way where it doesn't sound pop. Not, yeah. So it's kind of interesting because she's young. So the youth, they're gonna put they're gonna have their own influences, and they're gonna put their own spin on things. So I think she's great. Yeah, yeah. And she's got a great voice too. Let's see. It's funny though, because I can guarantee that every one of you listen to more music than I do. As far as just purely listening to music, I hardly ever listen to music, and you would think it's a little bit sad. I mean, I don't get upset about it, because I do music all day long, but I'm constantly doing new music, like stuff that's like going to come out and other people are going to listen to, and that's what I do. Whether it's working on a TV show or a movie or a video game or a record, I do music all day long, and so oftentimes I don't really want to listen to music because it's kind of my job, and I hear music everywhere. In fact, I was just talking to my cousin Kent. I remember going to stay with him when I was a kid. We knew, go stay with your cousins, and I was in his room sleeping, and he would listen to the radio at night. And we're, like I'm 12, 13 years old, laying in bed. He's asleep, fast asleep, and it's like he's listening to a classic rock station, or just a rock station, I guess, at the time, because it wasn't classic yet. And like Stairway to Heaven comes on, and I'm laying there, and I'm analyzing everything I'm hearing, and I'm not sleeping. And I couldn't sleep because music was on. I'm like, can we turn the music off? So I kind of envy. I had a friend John Purvis, who passed away a couple of years ago. Kind of bummer. Just died in his sleep. A heart attack. And he was younger than me, and he had a really nice stereo system. He was an audiophile, and he was a student of mine. And I would go over to his house. I would teach the lessons over at his house, and then he would pay me and then take me to lunch. So it was kind of cool. So again, but he would pull out records and he would put them on turntable, and he had a chair set right in front of his stereo system, and he would sit in his chair and get a new record, and he would sit and just listen and close his eyes and listen to it. And I'm like, man, I'm so jealous. I can't do that. If I hear like halfway through the first song, I'm like, what do you mean? What was that chord progression? Or I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I got to get my guitar out and start jamming along with it, So it's just part of the kind of the side bit about being a musician. professionally is that it's difficult to just listen to music. Like I said, I don't go to you guys have all been to more concerts than I have. I don't like going to concerts because A, they're expensive and I'm a cheapskate. And although I have seen several, I go to a lot of like different things where like it's different particular guitar players or musicians I want to see. I mean, I saw Alan Holdsworth, I saw Pat Metheny and stuff like that. But going to a big show or something, it's a lot of people. It can be expensive. Radiohead was great. I'm glad 1,000 times over that I went to see Radiohead, my favorite band. But I don't go to a lot of shows because if they're doing a really good job, I want to go home and practice. I mean, when I saw Pat Metheny play after the first song, I was like going, "Oh, okay, I got to remember what he did there," because and then 10 million notes later, I like totally forgot what he did in the first song. I'm like, "Oh man!" So. Let's see. John's asking me a question. Hold on. Apex Legends. Oh yeah. Yeah, I played all the guitars on Apex Legends and basses. So take a sip. That's one of the sippable offenses. The Bieber thing doesn't get a sip though. That's funny, Gary. If I mention I work with Bieber, that doesn't get a sip. I told you that he called me into this meeting and we had a really cool like men's Bible study, and he put forth the whole theme for the next record, and he said, this is the team I wanted to make the next record. And I'm like, really? And so I spent a week in the studio writing songs, which was cool. So we'll see. I don't know if anything's going to, let's see. Okay. So, John, you're the minor sixth scale, the sixth, which is normally omitted from the minor scale, not normally omitted from the minor pentatonic. Yes. But a minor scale would have a sixth in it. Yes, the major sixth, E, is replacing the minor seventh, F. So it's better. Yep, 100%, John. And I love that John kind of restates what I say in his way, because that probably speaks to several people that are here. So he's not just asking me a question or restating my statement to me. He's restating it on behalf of 5 or 6 or 7 other people that are like, oh, thank you, John. Now I get it. So thank you for that. Yeah, she's a cutie pie. Let's see. Oh, Fabian, nice. Good to see you. Tony was just a beast on guitar. Humor was awesome. He would just kind of look at whoever was Tony Rice, I know. So sad. How old was he? Because he looked, for the longest time, he looked old. He just had that kind of cowboy face, Play bass. Thomas Campbell. I have a lot of basses back there, don't I? I'm going to do a video. I just wrote the text for it, I think. I don't usually write scripts for my videos. Well, never for these, obviously. But I think I did maybe 5 videos. I uploaded 5 videos last year, but I did 150 plus live streams. So I've kind of been doing live streams in lieu of hey, Streetwise, I've been doing live streams kind of in lieu of uploading new content, which is maybe to my detriment, but ultimately because the new content will be much more likely to be viewed again. So I need to kind of get on that so that I keep the pipeline full. But wow, we're getting all sorts of new people all of a sudden. Or not new people, but people finally logging on. And yet the numbers are down. That's weird. Unscripted without a net, exactly. But I did write, I kind of wrote, I think, 5, it's going to be titled something like 5 tips for guitarists playing bass is probably what it's going to be called, something like that. And so I'm going to talk to guitar players who end up picking up the bass. And there's some of the best bass players in the world. Paul McCartney started out as a guitar player, and he kind of played bass because they needed a bass player. Carol Kay, who's heard on a lot more songs than Paul McCartney is. She probably played on 10,000 songs, and probably played on more hits than Paul McCartney. Carol Kay started out on guitar, is actually a really good jazz guitar player, and but she got a lot more work playing bass, and she was part of the Wrecking Crew. So if you haven't seen the movie The Wrecking Crew, check it out. I think you can see it on YouTube. It's called The Wrecking Crew. Oh, he was only 69. Gosh, that's so weird. He looked 69 20 years ago, in my opinion. Something about him, he had that cowboy face. Like, who's that actor? Sam, I want to say Sam Shepard. I don't know. Anyway, but the Wrecking Crew, I've mentioned it many times. And the Wrecking Crew played on so many hits. Basically, they did the music. They were for the Mamas and Papas, the Monkees, the Beach Boys, Frank Sinatra, Nancy Sinatra, even Elvis Presley, and not all of Elvis stuff, but some of Elvis' stuff, like some of his '60s stuff. Oh gosh, I mean, I can't. It's Sonny and Cher. Yeah, these boots were made for walking. Even like movie scores, movie themes like Pink Panther. Ba-dum, 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 that was Sam Elliott. That's who I'm thinking of. Thank you, Holly. Yeah, he's always looked old, right? He's always had that cowboy face. Like he must have, his first jobs must have been like digging ditches, and just how it's funny because like anybody, like I had a pedicure or manicure one time because I had to go to get because I broke a nail and I needed a plastic nail to play a gig, and I went in and the lady was like looking at my face and looking at my hands like, "You've never done a hard day's work in your life, have you?" And I said, "Nope." Just guitar. Yeah, that ragged face. And Tony Rice kind of had that, so it's kind of sad. I thought he was like 80 something, because he's also kind of one of the godfathers of bluegrass. I mean, he must have been a kid when he was launched. But anyway, let's see. Yes, I'm. Oh, Bruce is catching up here. Do you know Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers? He's good. I do know Flea. Flea's great. I don't know him personally. I don't think I've met Flea. The drummer, you ever seen the drummer? He looks exactly like Will Ferrell, and he doesn't like being pointed at. Apparently, he doesn't like that being pointed at, but he did go on Will Ferrell, Chad Smith. I've met Chad Smith backstage at a show one time, but yeah, Flea was Needles. That's right, Flea was Needles in the Back to the Future movies. It is funny because the Back to the Future that was Marty McFly, his dad George McFly, the actor Christian. Oh, questions. A couple of questions from Thomas. Sorry, I missed them. Sorry. Oh yeah, no, I answered that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know him personally, but I know Flea. He's got a very bright tone, and so. But yeah, I let's see. I've got there's four bases hanging up there right now. My new one, I can show you the new one. I don't know if you saw this, but I just got I'm always looking for new instruments that I don't have for session work and stuff. So this is a fretless bass. Now I've got a sub bass on here just for that sound, to get that sledgehammer sound, so I can turn that off. Let's see the octave thing. See, I can play. The scales that we're learning. See, I can play them on bass. The middle two strings and the top two strings on bass. So I got that. fretless, you got to slide a lot. That makes it sound better. It's probably too loud though, isn't it? You can't see my frets. I'm kind of using my ear. But if you're playing fretless, you got to slide. And I love it. I love the sound of this bass, and it's cool because it's got 2 humbuckers, so it's not going to make noise, which is great. So it's got a brighter pickup, which sounds very Jocko to me. And then I go to the other pickup. It's a little, you can't probably hear the nuances much, but it's a little bit hot, throatier. Put them both in here. Sounds great with both of them on, then I can turn tone up. I'm playing G minor pentatonic, by the way. Oops. And there are frets on here, but they're very subtle. You can see them, I think, yeah, you can see them kind of, right? But it looks like, from your perspective, almost looks like they're, oh, you have 10 bass guitars. Well, there you go. Good for you. And I'm not a bass player, so. But each one of the basses serves a very different purpose. And the reason why I don't have the 5th bass out is because it's just a jazz bass, and I've got a 5-string jazz bass, so I really don't need a 4-string jazz bass out, you know. Because, like I said, I'm not a bass player, so if I were a bass player, I'd probably prefer to play 4-string over 5-string. I just don't like to feel, I can't really slap on a 5-string. So I'm not much of a slapper anyway. Alex is getting good at it. He's been doing some kind of 80s pop songs, and he's been starting to get good at slapping. It's really funny. It's gonna. So let's see. Yeah. So that was one of my purchases. I got some other stuff coming. Sam, by the end of the month I should. It might get loud. Yeah. By the end of the month I should get. Yeah, Sam Elliott's a good actor. Sam. Sam, I should get my Greek bouzouki by the end of the month, I'm hoping. So I don't know when I'm going to use it, but I'm going to have it. I may hang it up so it's always out. I'm not sure where yet. I have to be careful because I can't put stuff too near the speakers, or they make noises when I'm recording and writing and stuff. I do in the hallway and in the bathroom for my studio. I have a lot of my smaller instruments hanging up, but the bouzouki is going to be pretty long. It's a long neck and a kind of a big round body, and I maybe coming with a bag. I may go ahead and order a case with it. I should have ordered a case when I bought it, but because it's a lot easier to store in a closet if you have a case for something, you know. Yeah, no, when you don't have frets, although boy, dang, I did that. What was it? I can never remember what it's called, but I did that game. It's the Pathless is a new game out, and I did oud. So I played oud, sitar, and lute on that game. Oh yeah, and I started to say at the beginning of the lesson that Kelly's. I'm working with Kelly Jekyll. We're finishing up kind of an epic song. It's like this 30-minute montage. It's kind of like, well, I don't want to say the B side of Abbey Road. It's not that, but it's basically one continuous piece of music, but lots of different songs. So. Austin is the composer that did the Journey score, which is a very, very well respected game score. It's the first game score to ever be nominated for a Grammy. And so, but I work for him, and in fact, I worked for him yesterday. This is a really, really cool video that his assistant put together, where you can follow along on the score, and you can see where my oud is. It says oud. Anytime it says oud and lute, that's me. And so you can hear it, and it's like, boy, I asked him, I said, did you auto-tune some of my, because oud is fretless, so pitch is, getting things in pitch, you know, and I've got little markers so that I can kind of see where my finger should go, cheating, because ouds don't come that way. And he said, no, I didn't pitch correct anything. He said there were maybe a couple times where I moved the beat, but maybe once. He says maybe twice, but not on this score. So you can check it out. What's the international festival? Yeah. There's times where I'm sitting there and I grab a ukulele down. Bruce, I'm going to be here for a while. I better practice. No, the reason it's because to go to one of my guitar closets, and I have 3. To go to one of my guitar closets, I walk through my hallway and the bathroom to get to it. And I hung up all my small little instruments, my ukuleles, my mandolins, my strum stick, the balalaika right there. I hang those up so that I know I have them. Because Austin and other composers like him, they're always asking me, hey, can you play something weird? Like I've got charango hanging up in the bathroom. Can you play something weird? And I'm like, and I don't want to go to my closet and then try to find all these little cases and go, what's in here? Oh yeah, that thing. Okay, no, they're just all hanging up. And none of them are expensive. You know, none of them are, I have my fretless, speaking of fretless, I got my fretless ukulele. Hold on, I'll get that. Okay, so everybody take a sip. I'm leaving the room. So I had, Beth and I were in Ventura, and I didn't realize I had 4 ukuleles, but we went to Ventura. I wanted to get a soprano ukulele, a Martin one, and there was a store up there that carried them. So we went up there, got a hotel room just to kind of get away from the heat. And we went to that store, and I bought that. And then we were having lunch, and I started talking to this lady. She goes, oh, she had a ukulele she was trying to sell. And I said, she showed it to me. And it had a case, and, you know, nice hard case and everything. It was a long neck soprano. I'd never seen one before. And I said, well, what do you want for it? And I already had one in the trunk that was a brand new, you know, Martin. And she goes, make me an offer. I said, $60. She said, okay. So I gave her $60. And I was like, well, now I've got 6 ukuleles. And so what am I going to do with this thing? So I had my guitar tech, Norik Renson, here in North Hollywood, take the frets out. So this thing doesn't have frets. But I had him put markers in there so I could see. Okay? And I thought I would use it as kind of an oud thing. So I have a thick string on the bottom. Usually you would have a high string on there. I think this is G. I mean, it should be. Yeah, it's pretty much G, C, E, A. Normally it would be my dog has fleas or whatever, but not quite that. It's the same notes, but just the bottom one's down an octave. So I was like, I thought I could have like a little mini oud or something, right? And then I was messing around with it, and it was like, I ended up kind of getting a koto sound out of it. Yeah, for $60 you can't beat it. I mean, I looked it up. I don't think it was a very expensive ukulele when I looked up the model number. The company doesn't exist anymore, but they weren't very expensive ukes. It's a very, I mean, it may be solid koa, but boy, it's really thin. But it cost me like I think $170 to have it made fretless. So now it's like a $230 ukulele, which is pretty funny because that's about what I paid for the Martin. But it's something that I didn't have, and I'm always, like I said, I haven't used it yet or anything, but I know I will. So. And a lot of times, like with ouds and stuff, you hit a note because if it's fretless, you're going to hit like a drone note of some kind to play to. It's kind of like with the jam tracks. You know, it's. And that way it helps you stay a little bit more in tune. Anyway. But check out that Austin Wintry video. It's pretty cool. I kind of impressed myself. So, all right. Well, we've been to 2 hours here. I've been on so long that Bruce actually made it. Looking for an orchestra quality triangle, like a legit. Because it's funny because I had to buy a triangle. Where is it? I had to buy a triangle. Oh, it's here. So that I could get this, which is the mallet or the hammer or I think it's called a triangle mallet. Okay, it's got a rubber handle and it's stainless steel, right? Because I had an idea for a product that I was going to market called a guitar hammer, and somebody else beat me to it, and it's a totally different. I could get it, but I would do this every now and then for just. And then I notice if I flip it over and hit with the rubber side, it sounds different. But anybody who's ever played in a band, you know, has taken a drummer's drumstick and hit their guitar with it. So it's kind of that vibe. But I like the fact that I can bounce it. And I got pretty good at controlling. The hard part is not hitting the top of your guitar and damaging your guitar, which is probably what I would have had some class action suit against me for all the guitars damaged by hitting it. I'm like, well, that's on you. So, let's see. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up here. Double harmonic major scale. What's that? What's a double harmonic major scale? Sam. Oh, Baglama is a miniature trichordal bouzouki tuned DDAA. It's used for background strumming in limited fills. Ever heard of? I have not. Baglama. I'm not. And in fact, oh wait, no. I did. No. I know exactly. Yes, I have heard of it. Yeah. In fact, I may get one of those too, because the same guy makes those. They were cheaper. I will probably get one of those. They're only like $250 or something for a pretty decent, good enough one. And I think if this guy has really good service, I will probably order another thing from him, because I really like sending a little bit of money to Greece, because I'm sure they're hugely dependent on tourism, gosh, for the history and for the beaches and everything, and they must just be slammed. I can't even imagine. I mean, they were having financial hard times before any of this happened, so I feel like we're not going to know the full ramifications of this of the shutdowns for it'll be revealed over the coming years, which is sad. What is my brain doing? Well, on that instrument, that's a standard guitar tuning. So I'm just playing, I'm just envisioning myself playing up here at the. So that ukulele is great because you're playing the top 4 strings at the 5th fret. So it's the same notes. So everything that on guitar kind of transfers. So I'm not thinking, but usually it takes a minute. I mean, gosh, when I'm reading, like I'll get music and I'm reading for oud or something that's completely different tuning than guitar. It really takes me a while. And I'll tell you one of the secrets, Jeff. In fact, I was just doing it because I was just playing. I mean, I'm better than I think I am, because I'm playing in the middle of all these things and I'm thinking, oh man, I stink. Oh, God, I can't get this. Oh, my brain, what's wrong with myself? And so like this bit here, okay, of music for one of the cues was, it says bass and acoustic baritone. Okay, so this is in bass clef. So I'm pretty good at reading bass clef, but to be honest, what I'm reading is not, like, I see that as a C right there, but I see the next note here as a B, but not because I'm reading it necessarily as a B, but I'm going, that's a half step below this. I'm reading the intervals, which is something I learned when they taught you to do when you were in choir, singing like choir pieces, and you're not singing the melody and you're not singing the bass, you're stuck in like the tenor or whatever, and you read the intervals, and it just, because you're singing, you don't have an instrument to find the note on. You have to come up with the interval. So I find that I'm reading intervals on these. And so here's a crazy thing, is here's bass clef, and then I pick up a baritone, which is tuned down a fourth from a guitar. So not only am I transposing to read in bass clef, but I'm transposing to read. So I'm double transposing. And the crazy thing, this is in 5/8. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, and these are just whole notes over that. So it's like bum, 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 bum. And once I heard it, but there was even one of these notes that was pushed. So this is 4/8 notes, and this is the 5/8 note. So I had to catch that one. But once I heard it once, I knew it. But then there were a lot of other passages that were in. See, this is in treble clef. So then I was playing bass, reading treble clef, which was kind of weird. And then you had all these high bass notes. So again, generally what I'm doing when I'm reading weird instruments, I'm more often thinking I'm reading the intervals, the distance between the notes, and not the notes themselves. And the Beglama, yes, I am probably going to get one of those this year if I'm digging the Greek bouzouki. If I actually get some calls for the bouzouki and pay for it, I think I'm paying 400 and something shipped, the bouzouki. And I found cheaper ones here in the States, but I went, nah, I want to buy from the guy in Greece, because I just thought, if I pay for itself, like that oud, I paid $300 for, and it's paid for itself 20 times over at least. Last year I was doing a lot of oud, lute, and heavy metal. I don't know what it was last year, but that seemed to be like a lot of the calls I got were for oud, lute, and heavy metal. Let's see. Holy Fretless is yeah, fretless is cool though. I love fretless things. I'm just really into that right now. Sorry, I'm getting behind on my comments here. Daniel Healy, I would recommend. Oh, wait a minute. What are you referring to? I would recommend see the main cities. Yes, my daughter and I were just talking about taking a trip to Ireland, which would be really fun. I hope you have time to check out my live vocal track shared on Discord. Okay, cool. Happy New Year to the group. Awesome. Chose the version Becker posted, but he kindly lifted it and made it sound much better in the song. The song is posted in your own stuff. Okay, I'll check that out. Yo, G, good morning. I got here too late. That's all right. I'll be back on Wednesday, Lord willing. Let's see. Holly, looking forward to it. Okay. Dennis, Thomas, I feel like there's no skill for triangle. You'd be shocked. And reading, it is only one note, but it's the rhythms. You could probably find some really, really complex rhythms on triangle. And here's the thing. I bet, because triangle is 3 sides, right? I bet it's hard to play groupings of 4 on triangle, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and. Try holding, because the triangle you hold by the string, right? Try playing, because it's going to rotate. So I think it's hard. I bet it's harder than it sounds. My friend Walter, who's sometimes on here, plays percussion on major movies, all the Michael Giacchino scores and things like that. he plays on all of those, and they uh, sorry, my brain just shut off. But yeah, he plays a lot of different instruments. So that, you know, triangle is just probably one of hundreds of instruments that they have to be able to play. Let's see, David Sillers, farewell, farewell. God bless you, David. Good to see you. You're gone already, I'm sure. Dennis posted the link. Thanks, Bruce. Paul Meyer, thanks, Tom. Lurker out. Okay, bye, Paul. Again, I'm getting everybody late. They've already taken out. Bag Lama. Bag Lama. So it's spelled, is it pronounced like that? Double quarter like. Well, I mean, you know what it reminded me of? Bag Lama, the tuning is the exact same as a dulcimer. So I have a chromatic dulcimer. So it would probably play a lot like that. But it would have a smaller sound than a dulcimer. Dulcimer's got a weird sound because it's the whole body is the sound chambers. So, I mean, the whole length of the instrument. Holly, let's see. She could sing for Disney Princess. Is that, oh, is that like for a movie? That would be the ultimate gig, though. Congratulations on being appointed to the awesome responsibility. Yes. And it wasn't just because you were gone, Bruce. But she's always here, and that was Dennis's suggestion. So I don't think she's had to exercise her responsibilities at all, though. Yeah, ting, yeah. AJ, here's the hard part about that, though. Could you, though? Okay, imagine this scenario. You've got an auditorium, maybe 3,500 people, right? And you've got 100 professional musicians on stage. And you're playing a triangle, and you only have to hit one note. Okay? And it's like 7/8 through the song. It's like almost at the very end of the 17-minute piece of music, okay? And your job is only to play that one note. You know where I'm going. Okay, and the conductor's counting, and all you've got is sheet music. In fact, it would look a lot like this. Let's see. Where was that page that I held up earlier? Where is that? It would basically look a lot like this. You'd have a lot of rests. And not only would you have a lot of rests, you would have bars that would be marked at 4/4, 3/4, 7/8, and different tempos. And you have to keep track of where you are. So you can't just when it gets there, I'll know it. No, you got to keep track. And here's the other thing is that moment that you hit the triangle, the whole orchestra stops playing. So yeah, not easy. I personally wouldn't want that job. If it was a $300 gig, I'd say no. Call Walter. Give him a heart attack, not me. So just a thought. What's the biggest instrument I have? Ooh, that's a weird question. The biggest instrument I have. I don't know. What's the biggest instrument I have? I mean, I don't have one of those therabos or whatever they're called, the lutes with the neck that goes like to the other side of the room. I mean, the 5-string bass is pretty big. It's probably the longest instrument I have. The biggest around, I mean, the lute is kind of awkward, and so is the oud. So those are the kind of biggest around. My biggest acoustic is probably my Gibson Dove. Oh, no, but the baritone is bigger than that. I had that out last week, so if you pull up last week's video, you can see that. Hey, John, or Johan. Hello, First Chat. Greetings. I know it's not morning, and I was in Holland a couple of years ago, and I didn't learn much Dutch, I'm ashamed to say, because I knew that in Amsterdam, everybody would speak English, and I was right. Americans are so lazy. I mean, I can drive for 3,000 miles and not hit any other language. So, there's a reason why Americans are lazy. If I never leave the country, why would I learn another language? But Don't listen now, Sam. I'm here. Listen to me. Focus, focus, people. All right, no, I'm going to take off. So I don't know, Hero. That's a good question. The biggest instrument I have, I'm not. Um, nothing's really jumping out as being like, wow, that's a big instrument. I mean, the electric sitar is kind of cool. It's got a lot of stuff going on, but yeah. So I don't know. The 5-string bass is probably the biggest thing I have. So my AJ's like, yeah, I got this. Yeah, well, that's true. And the other thing is, just so you know, in those rests, a lot of times if you have a lot of rests, what they'll do is they'll use tiny notes. They'll like be smaller than normal notes, and it'll be like, here's a melodic moment, and this is, like it'll say strings, and it'll have this melodic line, and oh, okay, that's where we are. Okay, I know where we are now. Because they know that you're going to get lost. They don't. The arranger and the copyist who makes the charts, they have a vested interest in everybody knowing exactly where they are at all times. So they will give you as many warnings as possible. A lot of times you'll get like a little cue, like right before, like maybe 3 or 4 bars before. Here's what's happening right before your moment. But I've always hated having a bunch of rests and then it says like three notes or 5 notes or 10 notes or whatever. It says solo. And you're like, oh no. It's just the pressure just kills you. So, mir Dutchman, Luke mir. You're gonna get some Dutch here because Dennis is in Holland, in Netherlands, and somebody else is too. Jan, he's not Jan. Jan's in Holland too, but I don't see him here today. So anyway, I'm going long here. Listen, guys. Great, and so we're gonna talk more about these scales, and hopefully I'll have a song. I don't have an idea yet. I don't have a name for it either. We need to have a name for the song. What am I gonna call it? Well, maybe I'll come up with something. Maybe I'll call it something like G minor pentatonic doesn't work here, or C minor pentatonic doesn't work here. Yep, the slapstick and the sleigh ride. Yep. Now the sleigh bells are easy generally because they're just going ding 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 ding, maybe the whole song. Of course, your arm would get tired. See, that would be a drag. I'm sure there are times where Walter's arm gets tired doing something like the whole duration. But okay. Well, Sam's listening. I've got to go listen to Holly's voice. So, okay, guys, I will talk to you later, and we'll see you Wednesday at 9 o'clock in the morning, Lord willing. And hopefully I'll have time to write a song. If not, I'll have it down by Friday because I'm working today and tomorrow. So that may make it difficult to write something. But maybe tonight or tomorrow night when I'm just chilling, I'll come up with something. Okay? All right. Yes. Oh, Jan is here. Yeah. Jan is Dutch too. Yeah. So I benefit from the fact that the Dutch people are smart and they speak English because I get extra viewers from Holland. So, and I loved Holland. I loved Amsterdam. It was so beautiful. And we were there at Christmas time. So we intentionally went at that time of the year so that we could see Christmas decorations. And I love how Europe isn't afraid of Christmas. It's like Christmas explodes everywhere. It's awesome. So, all right, guys, have a great time. And hopefully we'll get some more work on these scales on Wednesday. Okay? Take care. Bye-bye.